Do it. Faster, faster, goalie. Do it. Welcome to the Cafe Nightly Show. I'm your host, the Goldsmith. It is the 24th of April, 2024. It happens to be a Wednesday. It happens to be the day of a city release in the game of Upland. Obviously, we had the city of Washington, D.C. release in the game with a couple caveats, a couple hiccups along the way. And as many people called it, as many people foresaw, there was a couple pieces of misinformation, unintentional by the team, but misinformation in some of the original announcements of the city of Washington, D.C., changed some people's strategy, and then they would have handled the city differently had they known earlier. Water under the bridge. We'll get into a little bit of the details there. But of course, otherwise, things went a little bit slow, a little bit wonky with this new aspect, and that was to be expected to some degree with these functional map assets being displayed. We know that people don't generally mint with the 3D objects on, but you had the 3D objects on if you wanted to see the map assets. The map assets were part of the scavenger hunt, which had rewards tied. So we had lots of people who had to be hunting with 3D assets on. It was a little bit of a slowdown in the beginning, though they got turned off, and people again were able to see the map assets up and put them back on. It was a little bit of a give and a take in trying to get a new mechanic to work and get a little bit into that as well, a little bit more into that as well. With two other things happening today, as far as I'm concerned, the first part of it was it's official. It's the end. The platform of the Sparklet platform has come to an end on its chapter 1. With the end of chapter 1, obviously we are going to be having that payout. We are going to have that Sparklet payout here in the not so distant future. So we are going to be waiting for that to happen. Had the announcement happen on that today. And again, some little pieces on a partial, I would call it a partial or a halfway announcement as far as that's concerned. And then the big one for me, the one I've been waiting for, the one that people really should keep their eyes out for, is the follow-up. I should call it a follow-up to the quarter 2 roadmap update. That's the AMA. That's the opportunity to ask questions about what you saw in the roadmap that you want to know more about. And that is coming up in the not so distant future. So we'll get into that announcement. Of course, that's the big announcement for me for the day, with the caveat that there's a lot of things that we're excited about today. There's a lot of things worth noting about how the release went. And getting kicked off before we get there, all views and opinions expressed by myself, they're mine and mine alone. Should be taken as game strategy or financial advice to represent the game of the team of Upland. All views and opinions, again, of those who do come on as guests, none tonight, who do come on as guests or contributors, they are theirs and theirs alone. They represent myself, the Goldsmith, the Cafe Nightly Show. They don't represent the game of the team of Upland. They should be taken as financial or game strategy advice. Easy enough. Get that out of the way and get into the news here. The easiest thing to make the day make sense is let's look at that announcement I've been waiting for weeks, for months, maybe even. I would say months. And that is the AMA. We were talking about it early in Q1 about this AMA that's going to have more about Spark and Spark utility and opportunity for people to ask about future Spark utility and what the airdrop looks like. And ultimately, there's going to be people who are asking question after question after question about when is Spark going to drop as a coin? What exchanges is it going to be on? And we're not going to have the answer yet. I can almost guarantee any of those questions are going to have to be ignored because Adon said 2 days ago that essentially this is not going to be available at this time. That is still being researched. That is going to come as an announcement. That is going to be something that very, very likely nobody knows yet. So it's hard for the team, for any one individual to give that announcement or to give you that answer when the team doesn't even know what that answer is yet. More to be learned, more to be investigated. And of course, that will be coming in the not so distant future, more than likely. Save the date, Q2 or AMA and community meetup. Everyone, we're excited to announce the Q2 AMA to accompany the latest roadmap update. It will take place live in the Upland City Center Plaza and on YouTube on Friday, April 26th, 9:30 a.m. PT. That's this coming Friday. And of course, that is going to be happening both live on YouTube and on the City Center Plaza in the game of Upland. You can watch at 52 Grove Street, San Francisco, in game or on the YouTube link. Have questions? We'd love to hear. We'd love to hear them, and I'd love to see them answered. So head on over to the general chat channel. Again, this is something to be highlighted here. Upland definitely pushing this out here, pushing this idea of in-game chat as the place to move things forward, put things out, have conversations. We know Discord's here, broadcasting live in Discord. We know Discord is here, but looking forward to seeing that get dropped again as part of the future iterations here of more and more of the communication being moved into the Upland community. Upland in-game chat. Drop those questions in there. We'll be collecting questions from players now through Thursday the 25th at 1 p.m. PT, and then even might take some live questions on the day of. What about after? This is something that has happened the last couple, where Adon goes into the plaza and then answers questions, and it ends up being a little bit of a ruckus. We had people talking over each other and unintentionally talking over each other by broadcasting what's going on in the background, not realizing their mic's on. There's a lot of things that happen with these when we talk and work in the plaza. New tools, again, I believe are being instituted about controlling who's the speaker and how that works, and hopefully those are going to get better here. But the AMA, after the AMA, I should say, join Upland co-founder and co-CEO Don Zuckerman and Upland Chief of Staff Danny Brown Wolf for drinks and conversation in the City Center Plaza. And I like the drinks and conversation because Upland's trying out and working on this new feature, a meetup where you can try the new drinks facility or faculty functionality in the plaza with us and chat it up with Don and Danny. Oh, what fun. Again, 52 Grove Street, San Francisco, after the AMA. Be sure to watch the roadmap update. Let it percolate. Let it tell you something. Let it generate questions within you so that you can ask them. And again, that's where those questions should be coming from. The team put out some information about what to expect this quarter. There's plenty of questions that can come from that. There's things that I don't know. There's things that I thought we were going to learn about this quarter. Ask the questions. The AMA is the place for those answers to come out. They happen publicly. And again, it is an opportunity to learn a lot more about what's going on this quarter. Fingers crossed, we'll see all the information, all the questions that are constructive get answered, but there's only so much time. So we know that it's going to be some of the ones that are the easiest to answer, aka don't ask a question that we know we're not going to get an answer to, like what's the date that Sparklet's going to be listed on exchange? Which exchanges are going to be? That's not going to likely get an answer. Just something to keep in mind there, of course. We'll take a look here. We're going to look at the actual events or timing, the scope of what was going on today, because we had a ton of live updates throughout the day with the release of Washington D.C. And some pieces of communication here. I wish they had come earlier, but definitely worth noting they did come before the release. PSA that Washington, D.C. is opening today. Again, this was this morning, 9:09 my time. That's East Coast. That's about 3 hours before the release. You'll be able to get in on one of these minting actions started at 9 a.m. PT. Don't miss the chance to mint a piece of history by grabbing a slice of the Capitol. We're excited to see you there and to see all get involved. Of course, this is it. This is the big one. 10:22 a.m. my time. That is just under 2 hours before the actual mint started. And everyone, we previously communicated in error that the minimum pricing in Washington, D.C. was 44,110 UPX. This was a typo. The correct minimum Pricing is 4,410 UPX. We apologize for this error and hope you can make it for the minting still. That changes everyone's strategies so much. As many people have said, there was highlights. There was reasons to believe and to know that was not going to be, those was not going to be the cheapest properties. 44,100 or 44,110 was not going to be the lowest price, because the launch properties were priced lower than that, and you could compare what neighborhood you're in with what size properties, and you could say, hey, there's going to be cheaper properties in this game, in this city, I should say. And it was absolutely the case. There was properties as low as, like it says here, 4,410. There were properties that many properties that were in the 20 and 30,000 UPX range. So it very much changed how you were minting and what you were minting and what your plans were and how much UPX you brought in. And you had less than 2 hours notice to get that figured out. This is not the first time we've had an error or we've had issues caused by Upland trying to give this important detail. They just gave it wrong. The 0 FSA, when they said 0 FSA, the 44,110 made sense. 0 FSA meaning this is not a city we're reserving or building for an FSA, and then still have lower cost properties. I'm fine with that. It just would have been easier for the functionality. It would have been better for me to plan and other people to plan if we knew this in further advance. But to the credit, to the point, people did ask the question, are you sure it's 44,110? Can you look into it? And obviously members of the team looked into it. When they got the answer that, oh, we made a mistake, definitely properties less than 44,100 UPX, the message went out, information went out, it was put out in ways that people were going to see it, so they could change their strategies, even though it was at a limited notice, limited time available to do so. Later on in the morning, right before it was time, get ready. Here it is, Washington, D.C. City is opening in just a few minutes, 9 a.m. PT. We will unlock the properties and start minting. Make sure your block explorer is over and ready to grab the desired property. Also, heads up, we are testing the Stars and Stripes scavenger hunt feature, which might cause some additional lag. Thanks for your patience, and as we work through these features. Again, the team foresaw that it might be an issue. It was an issue. Everyone, Washington, D.C. is now open to minting. Good luck. That's at noon exactly, noon PT. And then, noon Eastern time. That's 9 a.m. PT. More cents dropped here as of 12/11. Washington, D.C. up for grabs. Use them to send your blockers where we want to go. We're temporarily turning off the Stars and Stripes models to help reduce the lag. This will be reactivated at 10 a.m. PT. Stars and Stripes models have been reactivated. Well, look at that, 10 a.m. PT. We are monitoring. If we need to turn it off again, we will let you know. As a reminder, these will be cleared from all properties at 11 a.m. PT. See the announcement for more details. There's all that. We already saw this. Everyone, again, this announcement after announcement after announcement, and these little live updates. Check out the full list of Stars and Stripes properties, aka properties for your temp collections, both minted and unminted, over at the live updates channel in-game chat. While you're at it, show us what you grabbed and put it into the general chat channel in-game. Good, great fun. So the two notes here, number one on this is you had to go in-game chat to get this information. It wasn't available on Discord. That link, and all it was a link, was not available on Discord. You have to go in-game chat to get there. That's number one. So that's a kind of this hint, this idea, this methodology of moving more and more of the communication of Upland into layer one. And again, more power to it. Sad to see some of that get de-emphasized or get emphasized out of Discord, but it is the reality of the future of the game where things are going. And then the other key thing here is they gave this to us for two reasons. Number one, verification, accountability. It's all there. We've had this before where they like to put that spreadsheet out, which I'm glad they do. And the second thing is once they took those map assets off, it's hard to keep track of what is there and what's not, and what was counted and what shouldn't be. And maybe you had a map asset, but you didn't realize it. Or maybe you had a map asset and you had 6 properties, you're not sure which ones had it on. Here's your opportunity where to go and check. So the 3 things here about that list. The first was there was both minted and unminted on there. So for a period of time, I think there might be a couple on there. I haven't checked the whole list. There was properties you could go look at the list and say, "Ooh, that property's not minted," and go and mint that property. The second thing on that list is you had the pricing of those properties. So because we have the price of those properties, you can kind of sort by, hey, I'm willing to pay this much. I'm not willing to pay more than this much. I can take that list and go down from what budget is my max and then carry that down to my lowest possible price or the lowest possible price available and look for unminted properties or see if there's properties on the list to flip. If you really are trying to get that last piece to complete a collection, you had that operator to do so. And then the final thing is, because the upland gave a good list, a good variety of features on there, a good variety of individual markers on there, what we end up seeing is we also have the the neighborhood in which the properties land, making it pretty easy. Here we go, making it pretty easy as we look over. It's in, what neighborhood is it? Gives you the address, gives you the initial mint price. It tells you what's there. Is there a large flag? Look at all those large flags. Is it a large star? Is it large starlets? You can go right down the list and you can see what is where. So that's kind of exciting the way that's built out. It gives me the opportunity to see that there's 841 columns in this list, which means there's 841 properties that fall into this category that had the map assets that could be part of these collections. So that's kind of exciting that's what we have and that's what we're working with. It was exciting to have that be part of the mint today. Obviously, it did distract from, slow things down, cause some minting errors. I had, some slowdown on my side. But happy to have a mint, acknowledging the iteration of we tried something and it affected the mint. And if we do it again, do we make it better so it doesn't affect the mint, or do we delete it if we can't make it more compatible with a minting period without slowing things down, lagging things out in the same way? I think that learning from these situations is important, and I can't tell you what the answer is for Upland, but I can say that it wasn't the worst thing in the world, but definitely I would say it's a learning curve. It's something to be learned from and hopefully do a little different next time around. Iterative. And of course, one of the most important, for me anyways, live updates of the day, airdrop chapter 1 has officially landed and ended. It's ended. It's done. Finito. Everyone, thank you. Everyone took part in this chapter 1, and for coming up with this adventure, coming along on this adventure with us. Rewards are being finalized and will be announced as soon as they're ready. In the meantime, players should make sure that their Upland account is linked to the Upland platform and be on the lookout for an announcement on rewards here. Again, that's in live updates. P.S. If you see the Convert Spark button with your airdrop button, ooh, Convert Spark, pressing it won't do anything at all. Not yet, anyways. When people say, "Oh, this button's broken, this button's broken," well, Upland did tell us right off that it's there, the button's there. It's just not turned on to do anything just yet. Well, let's be fair. When Upland was talking about this, they had put information out that said, "Yeah, we're going to try to turn this around." From the end of this chapter, from the end of this airdrop experiment, the first chapter of the airdrop experiment, and we're going to have a turnaround or try to do a turnaround in about 10 days, within 10 days. We're at a couple right now. We're a couple hours, I should say. The chapter 1 ends, and then we already have the button up there. That button's not going to do anything for a few days. I've got no problem with that. I'll take that for what it is. What we can do, and you can take a peek at what that looks like, but it's kind of cool. But here it is. There's a little more. There's a little more update here. We didn't know exactly what was going on here now. Now we know a lot more. This just in. Apologies for the double ping, but it is big news. Airdrop day in-app is coming May 2nd. That is when you can get your actual Sparklet into the game of Upland for all that activity, for all those things you did in the platform to earn over the course of the 20 days of the first chapter. That means everyone should connect their Upland account to the platform before May 1st, so by May 1st, so that when that drop happens, you will get to Sparklet and you'll get in your account. And the cool thing about this is there's going to be some people who went and did all the things to get the airdrop. They had the Twitter account. They went to Upland. They went to the platform, the airdrop platform. They did all the activities. They did after linking their Twitter account to their this airdrop account. Here's the thing. That does not automatically link back to your Upland account, meaning there's people who haven't set up their Upland account. This is kind of, and again, I can get into in a little bit my thoughts about some of the crypto bros or some of the crypto-centric people coming into this space and the airdrop hunters, airdrop farmers, and are they going to be 100% compatible in the Upland space? We can figure that out here long term, short term, midterm, continue talking about it until we're blue in the face. But it means that we have some new accounts in Upland that may likely get set up in the not so distant future. People who participated in the first airdrop that haven't gone and really solidified and built their accounts in the game of Upland. And they're going to have to do so if they're going to want that those points to become Sparklet. So get on there. If you're in this category, if you're somebody who is learning about Upland without actually having an Upland account, get your Upland account set up. If you have an Upland account and you've had an Upland account and you did the airdrop, but you haven't linked the two, link the two. May 1st, do it or don't. If you don't, you're not going to get the reward. It looks like Upland hasn't put that out in clear words, but that looks like what the reality is. Wolf Warner, good to see you. Good to see you, Wolf Warner. This is something that we do see as, again, this impetus, this opportunity, this reason why the people who came for airdrop might come over into the game or get their Upland accounts here started very shortly. I am going to put the note there. Again, a little bit of snark here on my side is maybe we don't want some of those people, some of the comments that are already made. They're talking about, people went so far. Hey, Trees, people went so far as to put out a public poll. One person did, without putting the name on blast, put out a public poll that essentially says, hey, how much are you looking to sell your Sparklet for that you're going to get? And we don't know what the sell price is, but I'm speculating the sell price is going to be this, and I plan on underselling. Or what price are you going to sell it, with this idea of underselling the initial mint price when things go on get listed on exchange, which seems so silly to me. If you went and you earned this spark because you love Upland, you care about Upland, and you want to be part of the future of Upland, if you're going to turn around and sell it, you're going to sell it for a profit. You're going to sell it for more than it's worth, more than it's worth at initial launch anyways. I think that would be a goal. Or if you can't sell for more initial launch, you're going to use it for its utility purpose, which you're supposed to do before you ever think about porting that out, which theoretically Upland is building those guardrails right now. That might be why, and that might justify, and that may be the reason why we wait as long as we wait to get the actual launch, because Upland has to make that mechanism of taking your Sparklet out of the game of Upland, because Upland did say to port the Sparklet out of Upland and to get it into your ERC20 token, or get it into ERC20 token into your MetaMask, you're going to have staked it for a certain period of time. They're building that. They're building those gateways, and maybe those guardrails, as they build them, are going to take some of those people, those people who were very crypto centric and said, "Ooh, look at this thing I got! I'm going to flip it immediately. I'm a crypto farmer. I made blank amount of Sparklet by this activity. I've got this account that I've been using to farm other cryptos, and I've grown it, and whatever the case is." And there are a couple people who've come into the ecosystem to do just that, and Then they're going to turn around to go and flip that sparklet as quick as they can. And they're going to find out they're going to actually have to play the game of upland before they can take the sparklet out. And maybe that's a great thing. Maybe they're going to be forced into utility, but it might also be some people being real upset that they thought they got this bunch of sparklet, but it's stuck in the ecosystem until they do something with it. And I think that's a beautiful piece of mechanism there. If that's the way Upland sets it up, if they do it well, if it happens well, it's been advertised, so don't be surprised if it happens to you. Don't cry. Don't be sad. Just use that sparkler for what it's made for. Use it for its utilitarian purposes. Continue using it. And then, if you decide to take it out of the game of Upland, you have to wait a holding period likely, and then you take it out through the portal, and then you have it in your MetaMask, and then you do whatever you want with it. But until it comes out of the game of Upland, it is there for utility, and use it. I would recommend using it at all the spark you've got as much as you can until there's some announcement on what you're going to do to pour it out. And once that announcement's out, I would still keep my spark in and still use the utility. It's up to you. You do as you do. It's yours to do as you choose to do. But I am looking forward to, again, the utility. People are already talking about buying it if it sells under mint, under original offer price. If the prices drop at all, that's their key hint to buy. I don't know how this is all going to work out. I'm not going to speculate on what way the wind's going to blow when the release actually happens, but I am going to say that the sparklet I earned was for the use of utility in the game of Upland, and I'm excited to have it for myself. So I can put that there with all the asterisks that should go right along with it. Let's see what's going on. Hey, Kenny, can't make this show. It's my brother's wedding. Well, congratulations, Kenny. Congratulations to Kenny's brother. Wedding is a big deal, so we wishing your brother and all the family good luck there. Hope you enjoy yourself and have a good time there as well. And Kira Kanos, let's give you a little bit of a round of applause. I don't know how you keep doing this, buddy, but somehow you sneak in, and you do it. Pioneer badge. Here are badges. Mint Masters Washington, D.C. badge winners. Congratulations to all the winners. We have Cypher Burn. We have Freaky Man 51 as one of the Pioneer Property badge winners. Am I surprised by Freaky Man? No, Fast Fingers win the Pioneer badge. And of course, one more set of Fast Fingers. Kiranekos winning his second Pioneer badge. Congratulations. Top minter, again, minting the highest number of total properties. This is typically people with large accounts. Don't be surprised. We have Lelnarf, Din 2512, and Sotheby's taking the top three there with the most number of individual minted properties in the first couple hours in the city of Washington, D.C. after mint. Big Fish, who really opened their pocketbooks and bought some of the biggest properties in the neighborhoods as we were going or during those first couple hours. We had Tyrrells, Obey, and Bacon House buying three of the largest properties. They're going to get a Big Fish badge. And Cozy, the smallest three properties by UP2. We have Nunchucks, we have Lord Stony, and we've got Murgod. Well, congratulations, everybody. Again, this is a fun part that we didn't even get too much into, but this is a fun part of these city releases. We've got this other layer here going on. That was fun to see. And, one more thing, I do make that point about, these new players coming in and the ecology and the community and the thought there. The game of Upland, obviously, still a very profit-centric game, something that people get into and enjoy. I'm going to bring it up just because I'm going to bring it up. It's not an on-blast thing. It's not a wrong, right thing. It's a reality thing. There are a number of things, you come to the game of Upland. Congratulations. Welcome to the game of Upland. When we go and we have a secondary market, again, just worth bringing this up because it happened when going into having a secondary market. Little heads up note of the day: be really careful how you list your properties. There should be this big old gateway, this big corridor you have to go through. Go put a padlock in and turn the key and open the first lock and then open the second lock. If you're trying to sell a valuable property, if you're trying to sell a terminal, if you're trying to sell a airport terminal specifically, and it's cost $1,500 to buy the thing, there should be some extra locks on there maybe, or at least you should put them on there yourself, because you don't want to undersell that property. Because unfortunately, once you list a property on the market for on the open market for USD or for OPEX, there are a lot of individual tools that people have that help tell them if a property is underlisted, aka did you list it at a small fraction of its actual value, as opposed to people just naturally and accidentally seeing it on the open listing somewhere. They are actively looking, and they have crawlers that are actively looking, and they give them an alert, and ooh, this got listed way too low, go and buy it. So if you accidentally list something or list something way too low, they tend to get bought pretty quickly. This does happen. And unfortunately, when it happens, there are people who are the victors, the people who get a reward out of it. They bought a property for way less than it's worth. They can pat themselves on the back. They have a profit. They have a strong profit they just earned. And there's another person, unfortunately, and the way I see it is I have a hard time looking at that winner as winning very much, because I have to at the same time saying, ooh, this guy got super lucky to buy it. Well, did he get super lucky? No, he had a tool. He used a tool. Yeah, he took advantage of an opportunity, which again, as far as I'm concerned, maybe that is luck. Luck is where preparedness or your preparations meet your opportunity. Opportunity is a very low price property. Preparations, having a tool that you're using, that you're monitoring, tells you when there's a low property out there, go and buy that property up. But to me, that just feels like bad juju, because again, for you to take that win, somebody else has to take that loss. And there's been these efforts in the past. There's been do-gooders who've done stuff like try to buy these, then try to sell them back to the person who sold them for a very limited markup. Like, not maybe take a little profit for, hey, I did take me some time to do this for you, but especially knowing what players it's happening to, seeing if the player's relatively new, seeing what's going on and the amount people could lose out of it. Think about it. You spend $1,000 on something, $1,500 on something, you make a mistake, you miss a zero, and you've lost $1,000. And that's a reality that's happened more than once, unfortunately. We've had people accidentally sell into UPEX when they meant to sell into USD. It's something that you as a player should have responsibility for. But it's also something that when it happens, it's really hard to look and say, so too bad, so sad. I mean, I do have to feel for the person that happens to a pretty strong degree. At least personally, I do, and not everyone's going to. Again, it is a game of winners and losers. Mistakes are made. I've made mistakes. I've eaten them and lived up with them. It's just that if you're the person taking advantage of somebody else's mistake, just know where you are. That's your strategy. You're choosing to play the game the way you're choosing to play the game, and that is ultimately going to be theoretically on the blockchain. So maybe people don't ever know the full story from the blockchain. Blockchain doesn't tell you how something happened. It tells you that something happened. It doesn't tell you the whole story. It just tells you a transaction. So there can be unlinked transactions. You never know. Just looking at somebody's blockchain may not tell you everything you need to know in the world. But that story, or a part of the story, is going to be out there. Just keep that in mind, and as you move forward. And to the reality of it, that's how I kind of I saw the situation pop up. I kind of knew what would happen because I could go and see the tail of the tape and see that happen on blockchain and say, ooh, this is what happened here. This property is listed below mint. Why is this property listed below mint? Oh, the person who's selling it below mint bought it way below mint. Therefore, they can afford to sell it below mint. Wow. Kirinekos. I wasn't trying to out anybody, Kirinekos. But Kirinekos, you're crazy. just putting that out there. Like I said, I'm trying not to out people, but yeah, that happens when you see something that is sold below mint price, like a terminal. Why would someone buy a property and sell it below mint price? This is crazy. It doesn't make sense. Why would this person do this? And then you see the tail of the tape. The tail of the tape is obviously they bought it for a lot less and they're selling it for more than they bought it for. So they're making a profit. So that's how the game of upland's played. And in their eyes, they sell it below mint. It should sell pretty fast because ultimately those properties were competitively sold at mint. I think part of the reason why this property hasn't quickly sold or turned around is that bad juju I'm talking about, because it does. It feels like it's going to hang around there. And if you go and buy it a little bit below mint and you didn't really get that much of a discount, but you got some discount off what the original mint was, you're going to have to quantify that little discount you got there, because you're going to say, is the bad juju, is the karma that might be just hanging around the corner, is that worth that price? And again, everyone's playing their own game. More power to them for doing so. Not wanting to put anyone on blast. And Kieran Nekos, that is in Discord, so I'm not going to say the names or share any of that. But yeah, it is your choice how you're playing the game. It's just not a area I dabble in too much, especially when I know that there's loss associated with any win in this area. With that, for that, it's okay, Vape Guy. It's you ask, he gave you the information. I give Kiro crap, but he's really doing it as public information, as open information, and I'm just not repeating it for everybody else to look at and to see. And I'm actually going to scroll away from it, so it's not sitting there on my stream. But of course, just looking at the game right now, I do look at all these new people coming in. I just keep thinking, I want people to be willing to come in hard. And I want people to see the start and be excited about it. And making a minimal amount of mistakes in the beginning is going to help people be more excited about staying in the game of Upland. And part of the minimum amount of mistakes is, let's not take advantage of new people in the game. That's, again, number one is, if you're intentionally taking advantage of somebody in the game, that could be running afoul of TOS. That's not good for you. That's not good for your account status. If you lie or engage in fraud, we have had cases where people have done that, and it's extended outside of TOS violation. It's extended into actual money fraud or money laundering. It could be something that's a crime above and beyond just breaking TOS and Upland. So be good, play good, treat each other well. But that also comes along with, like I said, you don't have to be ambassador for Upland 24/7, 365. But when we have opportunities, when we get into chat in the game of Upland and there's new players in there, it's our opportunity as people who have experience in the game of Upland to help them have a good experience, to avoid pitfalls other people have had. The game of Upland is doing better about teaching players along the way. This is how you do this. It'd be nice if they put in those resources in those missions. Hey, warning sign, be careful. Don't make a mistake, or do your best to avoid mistakes. These are the common mistakes that have happened for other people. Be advised of them. If you're going to go ahead and do this activity, you're going to sell this property, just watch out for 1, 2, and 3. These 3 opportunities, or these 3 potential pitfalls, and avoid those 3 things. And again, I'm not saying that this issue with, as Kiro put in there, the terminal, this issue with the terminal is necessarily tied. Is tied into a brand new player. It's just something that I think about, because I have seen this sometimes be, coming from new players with limited experience, and that limited experience kind of plays into making those mistakes. And I just think about that alongside thinking about the platform, the airdrop platform, and bringing those people in and making those people stake that spark. And again, I think it's a great idea, making those people stake that spark before they can pull it out and put it into their MetaMask, before they can go and list it on exchanges, and therefore making them a player in the game of Upland, but making their Upland experience as fun and as engaging and rewarding and easy. Limit those steps, make the learning curve a little smoother for those people as a community, so they stick around and we have a real future here for all of us in the game of Upland. And with that, I can say I am looking forward to the AMA Friday. Get your questions together, get them in. I love to see great questions. I'd love to see great answers for the AMA on Friday. Also want to put out there that we have a couple things on our calendar and definitely worth touching base on a couple of them. Again, couple things on the calendar, a couple things to keep our eyes out on. Let's go back and remind ourselves. We have a snapshot early next week. We have collection reveal next week that was given to us as the update yesterday. So collection reveal next Thursday, May 2nd, 9 a.m. PT. Excuse me. I'm going to come down here and see a couple times that we need to watch out for. Look at all those. I already brought that up yesterday, but look at all those landmarks. These all get dropped in. Wheels are all reserved. We have this all done. The release went relatively well today. Terminal sales going to be on Tuesday. Ha, ha, ha. Terminal sales going to be on Tuesday, Monday, April 29th, 8 a.m. PT. If you buy a terminal, be careful about listing it for sale. Monday, April 29th, 8 a.m. PT is the registration. Between 8 a.m. PT and 8 a.m. PT the 29th and 8 a.m. PT the 30th. That's your opportunity to register. The sale starting at 9 a.m. PT. That's a limited opportunity. It's one of those things where you get queued up. You aren't necessarily going to get the opportunity. It's limited terminals for sale. Not 9 domestic terminals at $1,280 for domestic flight terminals. The 9 international flight terminals, $1,536 USD. These are USD numbers, not OPEX. Real hard USD cash each. Train terminals are $475 each. There's 9 of them available in DC, and there's 9 of them available at the Dulles Airport. So you get on the train in the Dulles Airport and you go back to DC. You get on the train in DC and take it back over to Dulles Airport. Pretty easy system there. Again, that is Monday. That's the registration. Tuesday for the sale. Important one there. Collection review, like I said, is May 2nd. The temporary thing, we know those happen. We have the list out. You can participate. You can go and see what's on the list to go complete your collections. That collection period runs for 30 days. So you're going to want to get things into collections sooner rather than later if you are holding an ultra rare. Keep that in mind. Exclusive, rare, ultra rare. Ooh, look at those collections. Block Explorer sale has already happened. The Block Explorer sale was your entry, was your gateway to a future sale. We don't have the date and the time yet, but for a future sale for map assets and a future sale that might be tied or will be tied to cards as well. So keep that in mind. Passes are out. They are going to have a snapshot on May 2nd at 10 a.m. PT. So keep that in mind. You're going to want to be ready for that. At that snapshot, that's going to determine who's going to get properties reserved for them. Those properties reserved, again, are reserved, but you don't have the UPEX equivalent. You have to have the UPEX to actually go and mint those properties. It's always a fun thing, these passes, because every once in a while, you'll get lucky. You get a property that has already landed in a collection. Keep in mind, collection reveal is on the 2nd. So when you go and you look at your properties or you see what your properties are, you have an opportunity to look at what hit collection or what didn't hit collection and make the determination of whether you mint it or not. Because if it hit collection, you probably want to mint it. You're going to mint it at pre-collection reveal pricing and making it a lower barrier of entry. And if it's a good collection, you could get a good flip on it. If it's a good collection, you could hold it for the reward. The passes are tradable. Again, the snapshot's the 2nd, so you have to be holding it the 2nd if you want the reward, the 2nd at 10 a.m. PT. Minting deadline is going to be May 6th at 9 a.m. PT. That's the time to go mint your property if you have one reserved for you. So the 2nd you're going to reserve, you're going to have those properties. Oh, sorry, the 2nd is going to be snapshot. You're going to have a property reserved for you. You're going to have the information given to you. You have until the 6th to go ahead and mint. That's all done. That passes have been sold. They can be bought on the secondary. Go-karts and map assets. We don't have the date of that sale yet, but it will be coming in the near future. More information to come. And that's DC. So those are the things to watch out for over the next week as they tie into DC. The map asset and the cart sale, that's going to happen some point. We'll get announcements on that. For tonight, thank you so much for being here. Always fun to have you. Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. PT, we do the Cafe Nightly Show. We go over the day in the game of Upland. We sometimes touch on some Upland strategies, Upland activities, how to participate in the game and be better in the game of Upland. And of course, have a little fun along the way. For everyone who is in the Upland Cafe, thank you for joining us in the cafe. It is a way I try to be interactive and get some more information here of people putting the information in, people asking questions, but it's also where we have the pregame where we get a chance to talk before the show actually starts and after the show. So if you're in the Upland Cafe, please feel free to unmute your mics. The floor is yours.